Today we're going to talk about how to turn a regular printer into a sublimation printer and why this might be a really great step if you're just getting into sublimation. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Sarah. You're watching Creative Ramblings, where I share simple crafts and technical videos to help you get the most out of your creative journey. Today we're talking about sublimation, and we're going to turn a regular printer into a sublimation printer. But before we do that, let's really quickly go over what is sublimation. So this is the process of transferring a dye to a substrate, like a piece of fabric or a ceramic tumbler. And we do this by the use of heat. So you need a sublimation printer with special ink in it to print out on sublimation paper. Then you can take that paper, put it on a shirt or a tumbler, apply really high heat. The ink is going to turn into a gas and adhere onto that substrate. It is going to be a really smooth finish. The dye is going to be part of the material. So unlike an HTV or screen printing, there's going to be no fading, no peeling, and it's just going to feel really great. So using sublimation is a great way to get really intricate designs onto your blank. Anything you can print, you can probably sublimate. Starting out with sublimation can be kind of expensive. A starter printer for sublimation can start around $500. Then you're going to need the specialty ink, the specialty paper, a heat press, and the blanks. I love sublimation. I'm so happy that I got into it, but there are some ways you can save money if you're just getting started. The first way we can save money is by converting a regular printer into a sublimation printer. So let's do that. This process works with any Epson Ecotank printer. These printers allow you to add your own ink. It's best to start with a brand new printer because we don't want to mix any of the old dye ink that comes with it with our new sublimation ink. So this dye ink I'm going to put aside, but I do not need it for this project. This printer is really easy to set up. First and foremost, take that power cord and put it off to the side. We do not want to plug this printer in until it is all set. So I'm going to take off all of the packaging. Now on the right here, you're going to notice that we have an Ecotank, a place to put our ink. This little top part folds down, and then down on the bottom you can see all these different ink wells. So we have black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. When I open it up, I'm going to be able to add the ink directly into these wells. Now the ink bottles that come with the Epson Ecotank actually snap right on top, and they make filling this really easy. I have a little bit of a workaround because the ink that I purchased doesn't exactly fit that way, so I'm going to show you how to put it in. This is Hippo Sublimation ink. It is really high quality and it's going to work great for converting this printer. So in the box, I'm going to have 4 bottles of ink, the same colors that came with the Epson, so I can put them in the right wells. There are also 4 syringes in this box. The syringes are going to help me get the ink out of these bottles and into the tanks. When working with sublimation ink, I want to make sure that I keep all my colors separate and I don't mix this with anything else. So when I reuse these syringes, I want to use the right syringe with the right color. So I grabbed a Sharpie that matches each of the ink colors, and I'm just going to mark off these syringes. Overall, this process is pretty clean and easy, but if you do get the ink anywhere, it can definitely stain. So I've got some stuff down to protect my work surface, and I'm wearing a pair of gloves that came with the ink. So I'm going to assemble my first syringe, and then I'm going to open up the ink bottle. And I can just stick the syringe into the bottle and suck up some ink, and then I can put it over into the printer. Just take your time, go slow, make sure to match up the color ink you have with the right ink well. It's going to make a world of difference. So all I'm going to do is take the syringe, stick it down into the hole, and slowly squeeze it in. This is going to take a number of different times. I'm going to add about half the bottle of ink to each ink well. It's really nice that I can see right on the front here how much ink is in each one. This is really helpful to know when I'm getting low as well. Once all my ink wells are full, I am going to close up my ink bottles. I am going to push out as much extra ink as I can from these syringes. I'm not going to wash them. I don't want to risk getting any soap on here. I'm just going to put the caps back on, and I'm going to store all of this together so I can refill when I need to. Now that all of the ink wells are full, I can plug in this printer and turn it on. From here, you're just going to follow the instructions to set it up. I connected it to the app on my phone, and setup was really easy. Took about 30 minutes to configure everything. You can also hook it up to your computer and configure it that way. But now this printer is ready to go. A few things to note. I have a couple printers in my craft room, and so I grabbed some vinyl, I cut it with my Cricut, and I just labeled this in big letters that this is a sublimation printer. This is for me, but this is also for my family if they need to use a printer, that they know not to use the Epson printer for regular printing. I also changed the name of this printer in my computer settings, so it says Sublimation right there. So now you are ready to start printing your designs onto sublimation paper and getting them onto your blanks. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I am here every week with brand new videos, and this is just video 1 in my sublimation series. Stick around for lots more technical videos to help you get started with sublimation. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.